guests, global leaders, youth representatives, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, and some of the places good evening also. So this is my profound privilege to welcome you all to this remarkable gathering where vision meets action, where nation unite with purpose, and where ideas evolve into global solutions. Today we stand together at the crossroads of history, at a moment when the world urgently requires new models of cooperation, innovation thinking, and inclusive development. As the Executive Secretary at the World Association for Small and Medium Enterprises, WASME, and as a proud member of the NGO UNESCO Liaison Committee 2024-26, I stated before you with deep gratitude and an unwavering commitment to building stronger bridges between multilateral bodies, MSMEs, youth communities, and the global sustainable development ecosystem. My recent participation at the UNESCO General Conference in Samarkand, Uzbekistan, reaffirmed a powerful truth: the world is ready for transformative collaboration, and MSMEs must be at the heart of this change. Represents 90% of the all enterprises, serve as engines of innovation, create millions of jobs, and uplift vulnerable commitment and communities. Yet they face unprecedented challenges, from climate change to digital gaps, from global disruption to limited access to finance. This is precisely where our collective mission becomes vital. We must nurture MSMEs not just as economic entities, but as drivers of sustainability, guardians of cultural heritage, and catalysts for social resilience. Units on greening education, global citizenship, cultural diversity, and ethical AI aligns powerfully with WASME's global agenda. Together, we aim to empower nations through green and climate responsive entrepreneurial ecosystem, education ecosystem that foster sustainability, innovation, and social empathy, cross-border knowledge exchange, and youth engagement, inclusive digital transformation for SMEs, stronger global partnerships, and multilateral cooperation.
For a greener tomorrow is not a slogan. It is a profound call to redefine how we prepare societies for a rapidly changing planet. Today, education must evolve from being a transmission of knowledge to becoming a catalyst for resilience, innovation, and sustainability. The climate crisis is not a future threat. It is our present reality, and education must become humanity's most powerful instrument to respond to it with courage, creativity, and collective intelligence. To transform educational ecosystem, we must begin by accepting a simple truth. Traditional models are no longer sufficient for the world our children will inherit. We need a shift from linear learning to system thinking, from memorization to innovation, from isolated subjects to interdisciplinary climate literacy, and from passive classroom to active, living labs. Green education must be experimental, problem-solving, community-rooted, and aligned with the real-world transitions already reshaping economies and societies. It must prepare learners not only to understand climate change, but to lead the transition to greener industries, circular economies, sustainable cities, and regenerative ecosystems. This transformation requires integration across the entire educational chain: school, universities, TVET, institutions, research centers, and community learning environment. Teachers must be equipped with the tools, training, and confidence to teach sustainability as a dynamic and interconnected subject. Learners must be empowered to become innovators, not just observers, capable of designing solutions in clean energy, waste reduction, biodiversity conservation, green entrepreneurship, and digital green technologies.
And the author of India's national anthem, Tagore, left us words that remain strikingly timeless. And I quote, "You can't cross the sea merely by standing and staring at the water." These words resonate deeply with me, not only as someone trained in both theater and economics, but as someone who witnessed through my own work how profoundly societies can change when they choose action over hesitation. It was there that I reached a lasting conclusion. Reimagining education is the main pillar of society, the force that triggers a powerful domino effect. Today, as president of NGOs Liaison Committee and chairperson of the International Conference of NGOs in official partnership with UNESCO, I'm honored to open this WASNA conference on reimagining education for a greener tomorrow.
They need to talk to an entrepreneur, they need to talk to an environmental journalist. Basically, students should know that every path can lead to a more sustainable world. So there can be a student who's interested in journalism or law or entrepreneurship. All these people who are in this field already need to come to school and sort of let students know that every path they take can be leveraged for sustainability. So I think that's also an important part. And there's this thing about climate anxiety. You keep hearing you talking about climate anxiety, and I think the only way to negate climate anxiety is climate education, and also letting students know that they can take any path and still be a more sustainable person, and it's not a very narrow path about being a sustainability professional.
This is close to my heart. Being an educationist and a visual artist, I could hold myself and I had to share my views. So I completely agree to whatever our esteemed panelists have just shared, not just right now but before that also. But since I am in the field, being an educator, I would like to connect more and can give you more insights and inputs. So I have been fortunate enough to be working for an experiential school which completely believes in what was shared by all the three panelists here. So I also want to share that it is not about we can teach something like a climate change. It is the need of the hour, and it should be like interdisciplinary subject along with the other subjects. The way we are also taking up social emotional learning, which is the talk of the hour. So similarly, climate change is also something that we need to be working on along, and it should this for students it should not be a subject, just a subject, and they get marks and they get away with it. It is something that needs to be taught and not taught. For that, we as mentors and facilitators and the school needs to be the role model for them, right? And the other thing that I really like is that we need to intersperse this climate education in our own curriculum in schools. So this is wonderful. So education is just not gaining knowledge, but how do we use that knowledge and to apply so that we solve the problems. That is the real crux of being educated. So teachers also and educators, I think I am saying it, they need the special pivotal role, because they are the ones who are the implementers of the upcoming climate change and the climate education. So they should be definitely involved in the process. And training, of course, as the sir mentioned, it is an investment. So similarly, if I talk about just not schools but the whole society, so even the factories, the societies that we live in, they also need to pass the green test, right? So that they know the value, that they have to create that kind of a culture. And also for the students, the subject should be such that they need to pass this or they do it. In our school also, I would also suggest, because we serve the students, so the food that they are having, so even the students themselves are segregating the waste, and that is we also have the compost. So we are helping it out that way. So other schools can also take up this kind of initiative, and they can help climate. So that's what I wanted to share. Thank you so much for your time.